Hello and welcome back to our little renovation process. After we had started to remove the walls and the ceiling, it was time to think about the construction of the new walls. And here you see us spraying some paint on the floor to see where we wanted the new walls to be. These would be the bathroom walls, and just to see how it would look like, and also discuss where we would put what in the bathroom, like the sink and so on and so forth. From that point on, we were busy making cement and carrying cement blocks and making more cement. And yeah, building walls is time intensive, hard labor, and it takes a while also because you cannot build the entire wall in a day. You have to build to a certain height, then let it dry, and then continue on top of that. But yeah, it was great to see some of our vision finally come to life and go from the destruction process to the building process. That made us very hopeful and very happy, but it is unfortunately not the most interesting content to film, as it is very repetitive and kind of boring because it is really just making cement, carrying blocks, stacking them on top of each other. And yeah, that is the process of how to build a wall in its raw state. And also my hands were always dirty, and I didn't want to pick up the camera as much because I was just very busy helping with the whole process. We also removed those old beams. I talked about this in the last video, and look how much more beautiful it is now without all those old things up there, just with the new ones that are holding up the roof. So much better. And this was what we threw out. That's not even half of it, actually. And in the garden, meanwhile, we were finally getting some of our first harvest. This was around the end of June and July, and we harvested a bunch of zucchinis, tomatoes, and radishes at that time, which was very exciting to finally get some vegetables out of the garden again. As mentioned before, unfortunately, our constructor does not have a lot of time to work with us. And while that doesn't leave us chilling because we have so much to do, renovations are so layered and complex. They're so much more than actually working inside the house and getting dirty. It also meant that sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes there was like a day or two where we could actually enjoy the beautiful and very hot summer that we had here on Pico Island this year. And while the days got hotter and the bathroom wall was slowly growing in height, we had a look at the wall across from it because it was full of cracks and we were a bit skeptical if that was a problem. So we went ahead and asked our constructor, is this a problem? And unfortunately, I do not have this on video, but he basically said, we're gonna find out, and pulled on one of the sides of this here on the left side, and a huge chunk of the wall just fell to the floor. And so we removed everything else.
Hey, Tasmin, you forgot Cyprus.
No! After the coating had been removed, we still needed to clean the wall of all the leftover cement and like stuff that was on the rocks. And I tried to do it with a technique that I've seen at Kylie Flavel, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. They are currently renovating in Italy. I'm going to link the channel down below. She used this for her terracotta wall in the bathroom, and yes, that's me singing because of course I was listening to music while working, of course, hello. And as you can see, it was working, but not very well, especially because that was during an absolute heat wave. I think it has never been this hot on this island before than in this week. It was really intense. So this work was, very exhausting. So we decided to go with a more aggressive but faster approach. So a little time jump to a month later, when we took our pressure cleaner once again and cleaned off the wall, because we realized we could still do that because we don't have the new floor yet. So we made a big old mess, and within 45 minutes the wall was clean with a lot less work and a lot less heat. And this is how it looked like after we were done. And you can see in the top left corner already a little new addition to the house that we still did in July when most of this video took place. I unfortunately lost most of the footage of that time and those days. But basically what we did is we had this wood frame that our constructor did that we filled up with cement after it was put in place, of course. And it was filled up with cement and then it dried, and now we have a wonderful, wonderful arch.
From the support.